The economy, it's a bit chaotic these days. Many Americans are struggling with rising debt, unaffordable housing, and rapidly increasing costs of living. Stories from across the country, they really highlight a troubling trend. People are falling behind on their bills, they're defaulting on loans and facing financial instability, left with really desperate decisions. Take this example of a storage facility here in Las Vegas. I've got a buddy here that owns a few. And he says he's seeing more defaults on their units than he's ever seen. And you gotta wonder, is this just the tip of the iceberg when people start abandoning their possessions? And the job reports that came out yesterday went through the roof. The stock market is thriving, unemployment numbers are low, the GDP is positive, the median price for a house continues to rise. I know you might be saying, hey, it's down 16% in my market, but hey, if it's down 16% in your market, it's 16% up somewhere else. That's just kind of how math works. The point here is all economic indicators point to an economy that's doing pretty darn good. And, back to my friend, he runs a pretty tight ship in his storage business. And he's seeing a record number of these defaults for his facilities. And although he doesn't allow this, he is seeing this with his competition. You see, it's against the law to live in storage units in Nevada, but people are doing it in a big way right now in big numbers, indicating really broad financial distress. And that's a very different picture than what the economy is conveying. And so the impact of these financial struggles is far-reaching. When people are struggling to pay their bills, and it doesn't just affect the immediate living conditions, it can have a long-lasting impact on the overall lives. Their credit scores is one example, because a lower credit score, what that does is it leads to higher interest rates on loans, and it gives you fewer financing options on everything from housing to cars to, even getting a suitable home to rent. It really dictates even where you live. This really creates just a vicious cycle of financial hardship. Furthermore, as more people face these challenges, the broader economy feels the strain. Businesses suffer as customers cut back on spending. Businesses spend less on advertising, on ordering supplies. They hire fewer people. They cut back on the hours on the people that are working for them. They might fire some. It's just like a game of dominoes. Just one knocks down the next. And I don't know if you've seen this shift towards a cashless society and the introduction of punitive measures for cash transactions only, penalizing people for using cash, meaning some businesses are just starting to refuse to take it. It happened to me just last night for dinner, effectively forcing customers to use cards, which might incur additional costs and fees, and then being charged a fee to convert that cash into digital forms like prepaid cards. These reverse ATMs, they're popping up everywhere. And as the name suggests, a reverse ATM is a machine into which customers, they deposit cash and are given a debit card with the amount that they have deposited onto that card. And so it's a little scary. However, there is hope. By leveraging innovative financial solutions, embracing government support programs, and tapping into lucrative investment opportunities, people can navigate these challenging times and secure a brighter financial future. There is hope. And this spans through the whole spectrum of Americans, regardless of what they earn, from the minimum wage employee to six-figure salary earners. Because the number of people, and it's a rapidly growing group, that make $100,000 or more a year and are still living paycheck to paycheck, it's unreal. But fintech innovations like digital banks and budgeting apps provide accessible ways to effectively manage finances and avoid consumer debt. Believe it or not, government programs offer crucial support to those in need, helping to alleviate some of the economic pressure. Moreover, strategic investments in real estate and the stock market, that can provide significant returns, as we all know, even in an uncertain economy, just by incorporating just some minor habit changes. So by staying informed and proactive, our society, we can break free from the cycle of financial hardship and build a stable, prosperous future. The big problem is we just don't teach our kids and our young adults how not to get into financial trouble in the first place. We don't teach our youth to be resourceful or even think critically. There was a time where that was required just for survival, but not anymore. And further, our younger generation's biggest asset, their youth, it's wasted because they just don't know any better. But regardless of where you stand at the moment financially, let me run a few ideas by you. Some real financial solutions, some innovative ones too, and that can really alleviate some financial strain. Number one would be like digital banks, like Chime and N26. They provide features that help users avoid fees that help them save money effortlessly. Chime, for example, offers no-fee overdraft protection and early access to direct deposits, which can really help users manage their cash flow better. According to a survey that Chime released, 79% of their users report feeling more financially secure since switching to their platform. And these features, they can be crucial in helping individuals stay afloat without resorting to high-interest loans or going deeper into debt. I use Wealthfront. It's an online bank because it's just so easy to set up these small automated disbursements to different accounts, like an emergency account, an investment account, a cash account, a tax account, a vacation account. I started doing this, 7, 8 years ago after reading the book, Profit First. Recommended reading, by the way. And the main idea of this book is to pay yourself before you pay your bills. Even if you start really small, like with just $20 a week. And it works like this. $20 each week goes into an emergency account, for example. And then you just kind of start bumping that up gradually as time goes. And then when you automate it, you start learning how to get by without it and find that it's really not that difficult. You hardly even notice. But the best part is it's amazing how quickly that little emergency fund becomes something really significant that actually has you prepared for an emergency. So, good book, Profit First. And speaking of books, I just released mine last week, Escape, Crushing Conventional Wisdom with Real Estate Investing. It's on Amazon for $20, or you can go to myescapebook.com and you grab it for $4. Plus you get a bunch of bonuses there, including a free course that Robert Kiyosaki, he asked me to make just for his Rich Dad students. So you can get that at myescapebook.com. So here's another idea. Budgeting apps like YNAB, stands for You Need a Budget, and Mint. That's another one. That's a pretty popular one. And these apps, what they do is they help users track their spending. This helps them set financial goals and manage their money more effectively. A study by YNAB found that their new users save on average of $600 by their second month and more than $6,000 in their first year. So there's this saying, what gets measured gets managed. I think it was Peter Drucker that said it. I think he said it first. The idea, though, behind that quote is that tracking and measuring key performance indicators, they're essential for managing and improving aspects of business or your personal development or even your personal finances. Another similar quote is, what gets measured gets done, which emphasizes the importance of accountability and tracking progress to achieve your desired outcomes. And such tools like these apps, they really empower users to take control of their finances, reducing the likelihood of falling behind on bills and racking up more debt. And consider a real-life scenario like Sarah. She's a single mother struggling to keep up with her bills. And by switching to a digital bank like Chime, she avoids costly overdraft fees. And with the help of a budgeting app like Mint, she gains a clearer picture of her finances. And this newfound control of hers, it allows her to prioritize essential expenses and gradually build a sleep well at night account, and even an investment account, providing her with greater financial stability. So if you've got a better system, by all means, embrace it. And don't listen to me about what I'm saying, but ignoring the potential of these financial innovations, it means really missing out on unforeseen opportunities that could really ease some financial burdens and improve a person's overall financial health. Now, consider this, the government, by way of their financial support programs. And this idea came to me a little different than what I would normally come up with, but it was inspired by my first wife's mom, who was a social worker. And on Sundays, she would always cook a feast. It was my favorite day of the week to go over there and just get my grub on. And I remembered her saying multiple times in multiple different ways how there's no reason for someone to be homeless because the amount of government assistance available is more than enough to help all of those in need. And it was frustrating to her because most people just didn't want the help. And she'd say how tough it was at her job just to give stuff away, to genuinely help people. They would resist her at all costs and rather just stay where they were in the position that they were in. Anyway, one of those obvious programs is the unemployment benefits. And they've been the lifeline for so many people during down economic times. And there's SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, TANF. And then there's SSI, there's EITC, there's Section 8, CSGB, I think. And then there's job training, multiple job training programs. Don't ask me how I remember those. I mean, I guess we talked about it quite a bit, but overlooking the impact of government support programs means really disregarding the vital assistance that they provide to millions of Americans. And so here's another idea. Strategic investing. Real estate, obviously, my go-to, has historically been a very stable and profitable investment. According to the National Council of Real Estate Investment Fiduciaries, real estate has produced and delivered an average annual return of 9.85% over the past 25 years or so. And that's investing passively into funds and REITs. But by investing in real estate directly, because of the ability to use leverage, you can multiply your returns by a factor of 5, not to mention the steady stream of income that rental properties can provide, offering both immediate and long-term financial help. And if you don't think you can afford it, or you need this big giant down payment, stop listening to the naysayers out there. I get it though, there's a lot of them out there, so they're hard to avoid sometimes. But if you'd like to hear the other side of that argument, because we know there's always two sides to every story. So I created this zero down kit for my private clients on how to buy investment property with little to no money down. And if you'd like a copy, I made it really easy. I uploaded it for you over at zerodownkit.com. Another investment, the stock market, despite its volatility, has consistently delivered strong returns over the long term as well. I'm not against it at all. You do lose out on the ability to leverage and multiply your returns, but still way better than doing nothing. I mean, the S&P 500, a benchmark index for U.S. stocks, has an average annual return of about 10% since its inception. Investing in a diversified portfolio of stocks to some degree is a good move for most people. Another real-life scenario like Jasmine, who decides to invest in a rental property in a growing neighborhood. And by renting the property out, she is able to generate a nice steady monthly income that covers the mortgage and covers the expenses, produce a little bit of a cash flow for herself. And then over time, that property's value, it increases, providing her with substantial equity. Additionally, Jasmine invests in a diversified portfolio of stocks, taking advantage of compound interest to build her wealth. These strategic investments, they enable Jasmine to achieve financial independence and security, regardless of where she started. And just, shifting your mindset from a, ooh, poor me, to imagine the possibilities by embracing some calculated strategic investment opportunities that can turn economic challenges into genuine probabilities for growth, for prosperity. And as the old ancient Chinese proverb goes, to know and not do is to not know. And now you know. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.